Hello, YouTube world. Today I'm going to discuss the experimental self. This self, or a perspective of Cherish Rojas in this astral plane, she has discovered some of the most profound energies to be transmitted through the physical form. Having done this through meditation, some holistic measures, and also what I call the undoing of doing, I have come to a tremendous realization of letting go of physicality. Because all it is a frequency. You are on a frequency. When you leave and detach yourself from this physical form, you go into a higher frequency. What some people refer to as the white noise. Some theologians have come across many different correlations with the white noise and EVPs and so on. I have patched into something that has become extremely profound in my everyday existence and knowledge of this reality. What is very interesting about this is so many people who are still attached to things, whether it be relationships or other physical attachments, inanimate objects. Some people are attached to those. I am starting to get to a point of letting go. I am starting to minimalize my own belongings. Only keep what I use. It's part of the spiritual journey, but it is also part of letting go of physical. This is by far the greatest mental accomplishment I've ever come to. I have become one with myself. I love myself again. I am willing to exuberate compassionate love. I will never be in the social construct of what love is supposed to be in this society, but I do still love people, but I love them to the degree of non-attachment. I have learned to not fall in love, because that right there leads to painful attachment, which in turn goes into suffering. And that is something that I refuse to expose myself to anymore. However, love does exist. In layman's term, it is something that people are joined together as human beings, have sympathy or empathy and love and whatever you want to call it, but it's more of a hurting type of nature, wanting to belong, or speaking in terms of being in a group setting, or even in a family unit, what have you. Those attachments have to become a detached sense, and in our society, it's misconstrued. In a tribal setting, for example, men and women live separately because they both have their jobs. Women have their job and men have their jobs. And that's how I would like to live my life at some point. Once I get some other things out of the way, I'm going to journey into that aspect of this experience. Because I feel that this social construct we have in this country of men and women having to live together is extremely inhibiting on type of evolution that humans are going to be able to accomplish, especially in this society and in this country. People are too brainwashed and manipulated by what society is telling them to do and what their families are telling them to do. Yes, I have my own pressures from my family, and I choose to continue to be independent and think for myself and continue to make choices based on my own human evolution, because I feel that humanity needs more people like me who are willing to sacrifice their own happiness for the greater good of humanity. Which means I will remain independent, forthgoing, and I continue to help those around me, as I always have. That hasn't changed. I did get very close to falling into the social construct of what society wants you to do, or what perpetuates you to do, to belong. I have a friend right now who battles with himself every day and uses drugs to mask his innermost feelings of what he deems as what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to get a house. He's supposed to have a wife. He's supposed to make good money. He's supposed to follow what his family tells him to do in order to belong. Because he needs to belong in his social group so bad that he is willing to put his body through a detrimental destruction with pills to mask his true self. It breaks my heart every day when I see this. I have tried to talk to this person. I've tried to get them to go to rehab. But ultimately, they are going to continue on this path until either one of their parents dies or they die from the medication. They die from the addiction. So that is just one sad aspect of this society. People's lengths that they go through to fit in. Another friend that, well, I see him as dead now, but he's also fallen into, well, I need to have a kid to fit in to my family. Even though that's ultimately what he never wanted. I know he still doesn't. But whatever. That's just going to be its own demise right there. Quite sad. He could have been one of the greatest minds of our time, but he has chosen to be a sheep. Anywho, I wanted to make this video today to convey a point. People need to evolve. Until you can be okay by yourself and independently think for yourself, you will be a sheep. You will be stuck to the confines of this reality. You need to learn to detach yourself from what this country is telling you to be and what your social groups are telling you to be. Now, I understand not everybody is talented. I understand not everyone is creative, like myself. But that doesn't mean you can't be great. Be the greatest you that you can be. I have gotten to the point with this spiritual journey of utter destruction, where I wanted to destroy my physical form. And that's a scary point, and that's the darker side of this. But without the dark, you can't have the light. So when you are faced with that darkness, and you can overcome it and take the middle ground, then you're already halfway there. I continue my journey. I can only say I wish you all the best. This may be the last video I make. I'm not sure, but people, just be strong for yourself. Don't rely on anybody else to make you strong. You can be strong. Learn to unlearn. Learn to love yourself. And just know that in the end, it will just be you. Wish you all peace. Namaste.